So imagine looking at a family tree that, instead of branching out with every generation, just sort of funnels down into a single point.
Yeah, like an inverted tree. It is a pretty stark visual.
It really is. And if you follow Japanese rail news, you already know we are talking about an existential demographic bottleneck for a 2,000-year-old dynasty. Welcome to today's deep dive, where we are taking a stack of recent news dispatches, national polling data, and historical analyses to unpack the July 2026 revisions to Japan's Imperial House Law.
Right, because we are looking at this ultimate tension here. I mean, it is a fundamental clash between the mechanics of an ancient tradition and, the reality of modern public opinion.
Definitely. And just to set the stage for you, the basic demographic reality is that the imperial family is down to just 16 members, and there is only one young, unmarried male heir, Princess Aiko.
Which is wild, but the reason for the shrinking tree isn't just low birth rates. It is this strict legal mechanism that automatically strips female royals of their imperial status the moment they marry a commoner.
They just get, pruned off the tree entirely.
Exactly. But these July 17th revisions are attempting to patch that leak. First, female royals will now be legally allowed to retain their status after marriage.
Which, sounds like a pretty straightforward practical update. But the second part of the revision is where the mechanics get incredibly complicated.
Yeah, the adoption clause.
Right. The government is now allowing the adoption of male descendants from the old Miyake.
And just for context, these are former imperial branch families that were entirely abolished and made private citizens way back in 1947.
Yeah, and one of our sources literally called these branches blood spares, which is just a wild term. I mean, it is like finding an 80-year-old spare tire in the trunk. Sure, it is technically a tire, but you really have to wonder how it is going to hold up on the modern highway.
That is a really great way to frame it, actually, because you are touching on the ideological engine driving this law. The conservative argument relies entirely on the historical weight of the male bloodline.
Right, the unbroken two-millennia streak.
Yeah, exactly. In their view, that unbroken male lineage is the defining, almost sacred feature of the dynasty. So to them, adopting a male from these former branches isn't just like an option. It is the only way to preserve that specific continuity.
Because, if you switch to a female line emperor, they argue you are fundamentally breaking the historical chain. You are effectively starting a new dynasty.
Right. That is their core concern.
But wait, I am stuck on the logistics here. If they abolished these branches in 1947, these guys have been private citizens their whole lives. How do you just instantly turn a 40-year-old commoner into a prince?
It is a massive logistical hurdle. And critics point out that these adopted males are 36 to 38 degrees of separation from the current emperor.
38 degrees. Wow.
Yeah, it is distant.
To put that into perspective for you, you have to go all the way back to the 15th century just to find a shared ancestor.
Yeah.
That is before the Tudor dynasty even existed in England.
Right, so at that point, you aren't adopting a nephew. You are adopting a stranger off the street who just happens to have an ancient genetic link. And that is exactly why the opposition argues this law was rushed through Parliament simply to appease conservative factions.
Because the public doesn't actually want this, do they?
No, not at all. While the government is looking 38 degrees backward, polling across our sources consistently shows over 80% of the public supports having a female emperor.
Right, like the emperor's direct daughter, Princess Aiko. People know her. She's already performing royal duties, and the public basically grew up watching her.
Exactly. And we have seen European monarchies like the UK and Sweden shift to gender-blind succession decades ago, and the institution didn't collapse.
Yeah, it reveals this massive fracture in how people view the monarchy's purpose. It is historical precedent versus modern rationality.
A former Imperial Household Agency official in our sources made a really profound point about this, actually. They said the ultimate challenge isn't merely preserving a genetic bloodline.
Oh, right. It is about preserving the modern symbolic emperor.
Exactly. An institution that only functions if it stays close to and reflects the people.
Which leads you with this to ponder as we wrap up. If a monarchy's survival in the 21st century depends on the shared affection and consensus of the people, but its historical legitimacy relies on ancient, unbending rules, well, which one will ultimately have to bend?